our city's attorneys came to the conclusion that the $6.4 million settlement is in the best interest of protecting taxpayers.
Baltimore's Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake holding a press conference yesterday following the city's approval of a $6.4 million settlement for the family of Freddy Gray. But the settlement has enraged police unions, and it raises questions about the upcoming trials of those 6 Baltimore police officers and whether this compensation will create real legal problems for those 6. Let's talk about it now with the former Commissioner of the New York Police, Bernard Kerik, who is the author of the book From Jailer to Jailed. And Bernie joins us from Newsmax, Washington. Bernie, as always, we appreciate your time. Earlier today, a judge denied those 6 officers in Baltimore a change of venue. I just have to ask you, Bernie, can these cops get a fair trial in the Charm City?
Absolutely not. I said this a few days ago when this proposed settlement was announced. It was just proposed at the time. This is like a death warrant for these cops. You know, you cannot tell me this is not going to influence the jury, that you're not influencing the jury pool. You can't tell me that it's not going to give the perception to the general public that these guys did anything wrong. And for people that say, well, this is just the civil element. Well, the civil element of this case is based on what the city of Baltimore may or may not have done that caused the death of Freddy Gray, which led to the criminal charges by the state's attorney against these cops. Okay, well, you just settled the case for $6.4 million, and anybody that believes that's not going to have an impact, a negative impact on a trial for those cops, you're naive or stupid.
We have seen questionable tactics employed by attorney Marilyn Mosby, the state's attorney. We have seen Mayor Rawlings Blake take some curious actions. Bernie, does this have more to do with politics in that city and these 2 ladies' political aspirations than it does with the pursuit of justice?
Well, you know, you have to wonder about that, you know, J.D., based on some things that I forget whether it was the mayor or the prosecutor talking at one point about, you know, what they could get in justice, you know, 3 black women, what we could get in justice. And I think they meant the state's attorney, the mayor, and the attorney general. You know what? I don't care about that. Those cops deserve a fair and impartial trial. Nobody can believe that it's going to be fair and impartial at this point. You can't. You can't. The city just settled the case on behalf, in favor of the Gray family. Anybody that thinks it's going to be fair and impartial at this point, I think you're just, you've got your head in the sand.
As bad as the situation seems in Baltimore, Bernie, and we continue to keep an eye on it, it is worth noting that around the country, the sentiment toward police officers seems to have changed, and not always for the better. Let's take a listen to what one Florida driver told an officer after she was pulled over for speeding in a school zone.
You are being cited for speeding. Just explain what your options are. Drive safe.
No wonder you people get shot. You're absolutely...
No wonder you people get shot. I know a cop's job is tough enough, but to have that kind of rhetoric, even from an incensed motorist in Florida, Bernie, that's just beyond the pale.
Yeah, but you know what, JD? This all started in the aftermath of Ferguson, and it's grown, and you have political leadership around the country that has not done anything to stop it. You know, somebody was talking to me about this the other day, in the, you know, whether it's racial issues, whether it's you know, this police incitement, this negative outcry against the police. There are 700,000 local and state law enforcement officers in this country that make probably 20 million arrests per year. You take 5 or 10 different incidents that appear to be negative, and we flip the entire attitude toward policing upside down based on those few incidents. I don't even know what the percentage is. 10 incidents out of 20 million. I just think it's absurd, and I think people have to take a step back, look at the cops' job, look at what they do. They put their lives on the line for the people of this country every day. Are there some bad apples out there? Yes. When you find them, you get rid of them. But to broad brush the entire police service negatively, as they've done around the country, I think it's wrong.
We'll have to leave it there. Bernie Kerik, you have our thanks. Now, as you know, Dr. Ben Carson continues to rise in the polls. He's tied with Donald Trump in some surveys, but a lot of folks really don't know Dr. Carson, so here's your chance to get to know him better. You can get his book, One Nation, just pay for handling. Call 1-800-655-7567. Go to newsmax.com/Ben.